Audiobook's Inspirational presents an unabridged recording of The Englisher, Annie's People, Book 2, by Beverly Lewis, narrated by Stina Nielsen. This book is copyrighted 2006 by Beverly Lewis. This recording is copyrighted 2006 by Recorded Books, producer and publisher of Recorded Books Inspirational, an imprint dedicated to stories of faith and the human spirit. As Annie Zook struggles to keep her promise to her preacher father, to abandon her art and prove her worthiness to join church, she is dangerously close to succumbing to another forbidden desire. And now, The Englisher.
Circles of sunlight dappled the side of the old covered bridge and the rushing creek below. On the treed slope to the west of the bridge, two children gripped the long rope in a jumble of fear and delight, swinging double. Their hands smelled of twisted hemp and sweat, but neither minded. The warm breeze on their faces, the tickle in their tummies, as the little girl often said when swinging fast, were enough. That, and playing here in this enthralling place where their older brothers caught pollywogs in the creek, jabbering in Pennsylvania Dutch, and nibbling on soft pretzels all the while. "I won't let you fall," the boy said. "You're sure?" the girl asked. "Here, I'll show you how." He crisscrossed his black suspenders over the smaller girl, then snapped them onto his breeches again. They began swinging high and higher as the sky opened its arms wide. Prologue. Creative redirection. That's what my English friend Louisa says I need, though she says it ever so gently, which is a right fancy way of saying I must be vigilant in finding acceptable ways to express my art, my very soul. She and I both know I belong here with the people, so I continually stifle the part of me that once gave me such joy, my never-ending urge to draw and paint. It must be hard for Louisa to witness this grief of mine, especially as we are ever so close, like sister cousins. She, too, mourns what she's abandoned, for the time being, her fashionable life in Denver, the modern world that weighed her down. She lives each day to see the beauty in all things Amish, the art of being, as she calls the simplicity of our lives here in paradise, in the thick of buggies, social gatherings, and cookie-making frolics. And Louisa Stratford has experienced a broken engagement, as have I. It's odd, but nearly the minute I had promised my preacher father I would turn my back on my artistic passions for a full 6 months, right then, all kinds of new temptations popped into my head like never before. I find myself tracing a design with my finger on my dress, or squinting and eyeing the shape of the cast-iron bell Mom rings for supper. It's as if the drive to create cannot be squelched, neither from within nor without. But I hope, for the good of my word and for the good of my family, I can suppress it long enough to join church. By then, surely I will have learned to obey. Without Lou's loving support, though, I can't imagine succeeding. Nearly as strong as the tug to express myself on paper or canvas is my eagerness to see Ben Martin again. This befuddles me. An Englisher? Just as I am free of Rudy Esch in every way, I am determined to forget about this boy who can be nothing but trouble to my goal of joining church. Yesterday, out on the road, we happened to run into each other when I was bringing the horse and sleigh home from an errand. Lo and behold, if I wasn't alone, which is mighty unusual, as Luke or Yoni, 2 of my younger brothers, or Mom, regularly accompany me. There he was, tall and blond, just strolling along in the cold, his strong arms swinging at his sides, his head turned to gaze at distant snowy hills. Well, I didn't even think twice about whether or not to stop the horse. I did so straight away, sitting alone in my father's buggy, risking being caught talking to Ben in an afternoon's brash light. I felt downright peculiar listening to him talk about his hope, as he put it. Yeah, he's determined to change my mind about turning him down for coffee. We wouldn't be gone but an hour, he coaxed. Of course, I couldn't even begin to ponder such a thing, and I managed to steer the conversation to something else altogether. The menfolk's local championship game of checkers over at the Gordonville Fire Hall. Ben's eyes brightened, and not surprisingly. I've learned that most men perk up at the mention of games. Cornerball, baseball, volleyball, and whatnot. So I was glad to have diverted his thinking away from me, at least for a time. Now, if only I can stop thinking of him. We must have talked for a good quarter hour, and without considering the consequences of being caught. I fed his obvious hope, slipping out from beneath my warm lap-robe and climbing down from the carriage to talk with him. Right there along the road in the frosty air, where oft-times I walked in the warmth of a summertime night, breathing in the sweetness of honeysuckle while cornstalks creaked in the field. On such evenings,
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.